Okay, we're going to get started here with background graphics. I'm going to show you how to go about inserting a background graphic into the background of our page. Of course, the background of our page, the default is white. So we're going to throw a graphical background in there. There's a couple of different ways to go about doing this, but I'm going to show you what I think is the most straightforward manner to pull this off. I'm going to head up to the Modify menu up at the top there, and then hit up Page Properties. Usually I just hit Command-J or Control-J there on the PC side. And this dialog box, we haven't actually seen this dialog box yet, but this dialog box is basically going to control page-wide options. For example, we could have set a font for our entire page, or a font size for our entire page, or a text color for our page, or a background color for our entire page. But of course, it's background image that we're after. So look for background image there, about halfway down, and then go ahead and click on Browse. We've got to go and find a background graphic that we want to use. Inside the local root folder, the project files folder, I'm going to head into the images directory. And of course, there's all kinds of stuff in there. I'm going to start you off with background, gradient background.jpg. Go ahead and grab that guy. And then I'm going to click on Choose, and then OK. And we wind up with a background like this, which looks quite gaudy, but there's something important that I want to share here with you. So let's make sure to save everything up. Go ahead and save your document and flip back over to your browser and refresh. And of course, it looks awful, right? But the important takeaway for this that I want to make sure that you get is this graphic. It's just a tiny little graphic. And what it's doing is it's tiling or repeating over and over and over again, both horizontally across our page and also vertically down our page, right? Now, this nasty kind of gaudy looking gradient is something I whipped up in about 30 seconds inside Photoshop. You can create your own background graphics. You can find tons of free ones online as well. What I want to do now, though, is I want to show you what's going on here. I'm going to flip back to Dreamweaver because I'm not too focused on creating a nice looking background at this point. I want to show you the mechanics of what's going on here. Take a look at your CSS styles panel, and what you'll find is a new internal style sheet with a new redefined HTML element body. Now, don't forget, body is the outermost container, right? And if I select body, I can see their background image is set to the gradient background.jpg file, right? So what happens when we head up to Modify and then down to Page Properties is whatever happens inside this dialog box is going to wind up being a CSS rule inside the CSS styles panel over on the right-hand side. So alternatively, what we could have done is we simply could have gone and redefined the body element, and we would have wound up at the same spot, right? Okay. Now, the other thing, too, of course, is it dumps it into an internal style sheet, which is kind of a pain in the neck because, of course, I would probably want consistency across my entire website. So I would want the redefined body to be in my external style sheet, right? So I'm just going to grab this guy and drag him and drop him into the external style sheet there, just like that. And now what I want to do is I want to go and change this background. So I'm going to double click there on the body rule. And wouldn't you know it, we're right back into the CSS rule definition dialog box. We can go down to the background category there. There's our background image right there. So it's really, this is really nothing that you haven't seen already. It's pretty straightforward, right? So let's see if we can find maybe a better background graphic. I'm going to click on Browse. And I have another one in here called Watermark. I don't know if this is really going to work out for us or not, but I'm going to grab watermark.jpg, click on Choose, and then Apply. And what it is, can't really see it here in Dreamweaver. I'm just going to click on OK, and I want to make sure I save everything again. So I've got to go File, Save All, and then back to my browser and refresh. There we go. What it is it's just like a watermark cartoon there. And there's that tiling effect again. He's just repeating over and over and over again. Now, what I'd like to do, though, is I'd like to show you how you can control this tiling behavior that we get inside our web page. And I'll show you how to do that in the next exercise. So sit tight.